One of the greatest challenges that we face today is the challenge of youth at risk. Young people, men, women, boys and girls, that depart from the ways of Torah, that depart from the ways of their parents. The Mishnah in Pirkei Avos tells us, Ohev esabrios, love the creations, umikarvan la Torah, and bring them close to Torah, bring them close to mitzvos. The Chazon Ish asks the question, who will be successful in outreach? Who will be successful in bringing the young people back? Ohev esabrios, the one that truly has the love, the compassion, the feeling and the sensitivity for the young people, for their brothers and sisters, to bring them back. I was invited to a Kiruv convention, and there were a few hundred people that were gathered together in upstate New York. And I was to speak on Saturday night at the special program. The program was to begin at 9:30, and I was there about 9:15. The head of the convention comes over to me and says that there's a young man that would like to speak to me. The young man, an older teenager, is a youth at risk. He also came to the convention, and he would like to have a word with me. So I entered into a different room, and there was a small little platform, and I saw him waiting for me. I went over to him. I greeted him, and before I even got to say shalom, he started to launch into a tirade. He began to tell me all of his complaints about Judaism, what happened and what he feels and how he wasn't regarded, and it begins, and I start to answer him. He didn't listen. He starts shouting at me, and I said, please keep it down. They shouldn't think we're having an argument here. And he continues, and he says everything that's on his mind, and I felt so bad, but there was little I could do. He was too upset. He was boiling with resentment. Well, I listened to him for about 15 minutes. The head of the convention came in and signaled, 5 more minutes, they're ready for you. I listened another couple minutes to this young man and said, I'm sorry, but I have to go now. I will be happy to talk with you a little bit later, but right now I have to go to speak. Before I left, he said, could I ask you one thing? I said, yes, sure. He says to me, could I have a hug? I said, you want a hug? Sure. He was a big guy. He puts his arms around me. He put his head down on my shoulder and he began to cry. And I hugged him. I realized anything that I wanted to say to him, all of the counter arguments, all the speeches and all the ethical, moral speeches that I could give him did not do what one hug did for him. That's all he wanted. Ohev esabrios, love the creations, umikarvan la Torah, and then you'll bring them very close. The Mishnah says so.